You believe in Jesus?
Yes, I do.
Well, you're going to meet him.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Fan Celebration 3.0. Welcome to the Epic Film Guys podcast.
Oh,
That voice, I haven't heard that voice in weeks. Oh my God, Justin, is that you?
it's me. It's been a while. It's been a long while.
It has.
I feel like I was sitting down and setting up my gear to record tonight, and I'm like, I literally haven't talked to you in like weeks, which is strange.
Forever.
It's
we
very
block
strange
each other
feeling.
on social media and on our phones and everything, except for recording nights of the show. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you.
I even go through and I delete every single picture that I have of you or me and you on my phone. I don't actually like delete the deleting box. Like I wait until I talk to you, then I like restore all the photos. So,
Bring it all
so that
back.
way I don't see anything, I don't hear anything. I'm like,
ladies and gentlemen, to the Epic Film Guys podcast. We're here for you. We're here to celebrate our fans. It's Fan Celebration 3.0. We haven't recorded together in a couple of weeks. Last week, huge shout out and my eternal gratitude for the fine gentlemen from the Master Debaters. That's Michael, Sean, Jay, and Tafa. They did a great job, especially A, making me laugh, and B, drawing my ire while I was editing. A lot of their picks in the most overrated films of all time, pretty fucking controversial. Especially when one of them picked American Beauty as their number one. I was like, the hell you say? To go through and delete all of their audio. I am Nick.
and I'm Justin, and we're so happy to have you here with us this evening. But we, again, could not do this alone. Those of you that have been listening to the show for a while, we do these little fan celebration things once a year. And the last 2 years, we've been lucky enough to have this person on the show. We've got her back again with us tonight. Welcome, Emily from The Story Behind. What's up, Emily?
Hi, thanks. Thanks for having me, guys. We have a lot of questions.
Do we really? Like how many? Like
I think 4 pages worth of. So
Oh.
I think both of the
wow.
last two fan celebrations, we ended up having to cut part of it out and putting it in the
Yep.
next episode because it ran so long.
my goal is not to have grumpy Justin by halfway through. So I'm going to try to speed
Just
it up
start
this
bashing
year.
Sylvester Stallone halfway through the show. We'll get him
No,
grumpy.
that was not me. That was not me. That was my
one of the greatest memories
co-host.
of podcasting in my podcasting history that I'll never forget. I love that. If I ever quit podcasting, that'll be one of my favorite moments that I ever experienced. So no, I cherish that.
That's coming
I
up
promise.
like 2 weeks, I think, in Epic Film history. I think that's coming up. 2 years ago was when we did the Oscars with the classy little podcast, Emily's original podcast with James, and he dared to besmirch the hallowed
Oh
ground that
my
is
gosh.
Sylvester Stallone, and Justin just fucking went off like a cannon.
Yes, it happened. And I still feel that Stallone should have taken home that Oscar that year at the Oscars. The hell with you, Mark Rylance. You were fine in Bridge of Spies, but you were no Rocky Balboa in Creed. Sorry, buddy.
And not to be outdone, we've got Justin here, we've got me here, we've got Emily here. We love you, Emily. Thank you very much for joining us again for another
I love
episode.
you guys. Yay.
It's always so amazing to have you here. But not to be outdone, Justin, your best friend is also joining us for the evening. That's right.
I sucked a dick last night.
This soundboard
That's not very nice. That's
is
not
in
very
the
nice.
house. And I don't know why you said that right there. And then now you're saying it's not nice.
No,
It
it's not
sounds
nice.
so weird at regular speed. I always listen to podcasts at 1.5 speed. So, wow, that is slow and dramatic now for me.
Isn't it? Justin, say it really fast, like, so she can get like more in kind of the mind frame of being on the show.
Because usually for me, I sucked a dick last night. Nice and fast.
No, I cannot. And no, I will not. That is not true. Again,
Man.
Nick literally compiled that sound clip from different things I said at different times, and he pasted it together because he's a guru at that, knows what he's doing, and made it sound like I said it all in one sentence. It never happened. It's not true. It's
I
fake.
appreciate
It's
the
lies.
confidence in my editing skills. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
We're here. We've got a lot of questions from fans that we're going to be answering on the show tonight, a bunch of fellow podcasters as well we're going to be getting to. But first of all, Justin, it's been forever. I got to know, what are you drinking?
I'm back. Puke and rally. Woo! Give
All right, man. Well, I usually would start off with an IPA, but this evening I wanted to be a little more special. It's a special occasion. So I'm drinking a stout. It's the Adroit Theory Therapy Sessions Ghost 586. They love doing this whole thing. They name a beer and they do like a number of different versions of them, just slightly different with different hops or different blends, and they name them like a ghost and then a number. So that's what I'm drinking. It's an Imperial Double Stout. It's 13% alcohol by volume, 60 IBUs. And it's got like a very sugary sweetness to it, roasted malt, and it's very smoky.
Toasted nuts?
A lot of no toasted nuts. No, you're bringing that back. That's been a while since that's been said on the show. No toasted nuts. A lot of other people were saying that it's got a really boozy finish. I'm not getting that. And I'm not a huge stout drinker. I mean, other than IPAs, double IPAs, triple IPAs, quadruple IPAs, all the different IPAs, pale ales. Stout's like the next one in line for me. I don't think this is boozy at all. I think it's delicious. It's sweet. It's decadent. And I could actually continue to drink just this one beer for at least half of the show, I would like to hope. I'm thinking that I'm going to be able to do, because Emily doesn't want to hear Grumpy Justin. So I'm going to try to stick to 1 or 2 beers per show for her sake. Well, it's good.
Speaking of Emily, Justin, just because she's on the show tonight, how's the mouth feel?
Oh, boy. Oh, you guys.
Wait a minute. Mouthfeel?
Yeah, the mouthfeel.
It's pretty good. That's one of the only things about it that may be not up to par with the rest of the beer, is that it's a little bit rough going in, but it's fine going down.
Deep cuts on the Epic Film Guys.
Yeah.
That was one of those things that Emily always hated to hear. And then we just started doing it on every podcast, and then she kind of became where she started associating it with us, and then we stopped doing it. And
well, what was funny was I think you guys have desensitized me to mouthfeel. I still don't want to say it, but I'm okay hearing it now.
Nice. Mission
It's a weird word.
Yeah.
It's weird. It is weird. Yeah. Mouth and feel
we
put
will,
together. I mean,
Emily, because you're the guest on the show, why don't we pitch it over to you and let us know what you're drinking?
So I am drinking my signature wine. It is La Delizia Prosecco. Prosecco is my signature wine. It doesn't matter what brand it is. But I love my Prosecco. I can't believe Justin's beer has more alcohol per volume than my wine, because this only has 10.5% by volume.
Yeah.
But fucking lush, Justin.
I also didn't want to keep pouring it into a regular Prosecco glass because they're so small. So I'm drinking it out of my Epic Film Guys podcast pint glass. Yeah. Like, so classy. Wine, Prosecco, in a pint glass.
At least you still have yours. Mine broke and I haven't gotten another one yet. Yeah.
No. My husband uses it. He uses pint glasses for just regular water and juice and Gatorade glasses. So every time he uses this one, I'm like, that is mine. He's like, you don't even drink beer. But it's mine.
That's okay. My kid and my wife drink water and whatever juice and whatever the hell else they're drinking out of most of my beer glasses. So that's fine.
They hold a good amount.
What do you got guzzling down your goal this evening?
Oh, wow. All the deep cuts.
It's getting old school on the show tonight. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What do you got funneling down your face hole?
Back in, say, November or so, I brewed a Belgian Tripel, and this was a beer that was going to have a turnaround time of approximately 3 months or so. I finally got to bottle this beer last weekend, and when I tasted it, uncarbonated, I made a remark that this was pretty much probably one of the best beers I've ever brewed. And I'm drinking it tonight, and I'm here to tell you that with one caveat that is absolutely true. This is the Epic Film Guys Belgian Tripel. It's got a lot of good notes of like fig, raisin, all those kind of really dark, kind of candied flavors you'd expect from a Belgian Tripel. It's very boozy. The only problem is it didn't finish carbonating, so it's exceedingly flat. But I already had it cold. I already had it ready. So I had to open it up and I had to drink it because this is a special occasion. So I figured what better occasion to crack it out than this. But yeah, it is pretty outstanding. I have no idea what the alcohol by volume is or anything like that, but I can tell you, Caleb, it tastes damn good.
I feel like I gave up long ago on telling Caleb how it tastes because he just simply doesn't give a damn. So,
Caleb, do you give a damn?
I thought he was worried about the IBUs.
He does not give a damn. I don't give a damn. Okay?
All right. As Emily mentioned, we do have a lot of questions to get into, Justin.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to do some questions and then maybe we can talk about it? Because there's a ton of film news. There's a ton of film stuff between the two of us that we could probably riff on about for hours. But do you want to get into some questions first, or do you want to just sit back and kick back with some film news, or do you want to just say fuck it and run off into the sunset with our tops off?
You know what? I like the sunset idea, honestly. Can I go now? Can I just? I'm ready to go now. No, you know what? Let's start on some questions because, like you said prior to this discussion, Emily, you said you had 4 pages.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So we could take some questions real quick here.
Yeah.
Film news can wait. Film talk can wait. It's not like we're a movie podcast or anything.
You guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And we did a good number. We took a big chunk out of it for the Patreon only segment.
This is true.
So if you guys are not Patreons of the Epic Film Guys, go give them money.
My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
Did she charge $1? Did she charge $2? Is she a patron of the show? Damn it, Nick.
I wish.
Damn.
All right, so let's start with Jared Taylor's first question.
Destruction in human form.
Yes. What do you like most or least about your fans?
Wow. Justin, I'm going to let you have that one first.
There's not really anything that I dislike about our fans. I've never had a bad experience with them on social media or in person. Those that I have met in person, they've all been very supportive, very awesome, especially on our social media platforms where they like every single post that we post and they comment on everything they possibly can and they engage in conversation. No, they're just all around great. And I think that without you, we talk about it on the show every week. We make sure to close the show out with our appreciation of you, that without you, we would be nothing. We wouldn't be the Epic Film Guys. And so my favorite thing about you is that you're there for us. You guys are all witty and fun to talk to online. None of you suck, like, for real. We've never had to ban anyone from our pages or, tell you,
never.
like, sorry, nothing. It's always been a positive experience.
Now you're giving them a challenge.
Okay, I'll hold on. Director Brenic has pushed my buttons on many occasions, but we have that relationship where he knows that I enjoy it internally. So he's the only one I think that
Fuck
really.
off, Justin.
There it is, exactly. Thanks, Dan. Thanks for being here when I need you here. So that's it, man. Nick, what do you think, man?
All right. Well, I've got to play this just for our patrons. I've got to play it. No, I'm kidding. I'm fucking kidding.
What?
I love you.
Oh my God. I was about to say, what happened that I didn't know about?
The best thing
We have
about
the video,
that,
right?
if you're watching this on YouTube, the look on Justin's face when I played it was like, oh my God.
You surprised me because, like I said, there may have been something I didn't know about, man. Who knows?
Our fans are absolutely the best. You guys are amazing. You guys are super supportive. You guys are wonderful. It's amazing. You guys have always had such amazing things to say about the show whenever we ask you. And, a lot of you are very, very active, especially over in the Dumpster, posting up film news that you're interested in to start conversations of your own that you want to talk about. That's great. We love that. Keep all that kind of stuff going. It's amazing. We have the best fans in the fucking world. We do. We have absolutely the best fans in the world. So keep up everything you're doing. We love you. We love you. And I'm going to give you this sound drop instead because we love you so much.
I sucked a dick last night.
That's right. Loy saw us regretfully sucking a dick.
There you go. But he didn't really regret it, though.
Jared also asks if you could pick one person to guest host an episode of the podcast. Who would that be?
Man.
Tommy Wiseau.
That would be amazing. Oh, could he just play both of you? That would be great.
I want Tommy to be me, and then I want Greg Sestero to play Nick. That's what I want.
Ooh.
Those are the two. That's
Mark,
what I want.
what are you drinking?
Can Denny be loy sauce?
That'd be amazing. Oh my God. There you go.
You're not
There
my
you
fucking
go.
mother.
If we could hear Denny say, I sucked a dick last night, that'd be amazing.
God. We need to get that shit on the board. Oof. Wow.
What do you got, Nick? What do you think? Who do you got?
Stop ganging up on me.
I can't even top that. How do I even top that? Oh my God. Oh shit. One person ever. Man.
Because you didn't specify it had to be a podcaster.
You know what
You
I
just
want?
said what? Yeah.
Just one person.
Emily actually reminded me of this when she was talking earlier, probably during the pre-roll or maybe during the patron-only segment, but she talked about falling asleep all the time to Parks and Rec. I want Leslie Knope and Ben Wyatt to host the show.
Wow.
That would be
Interesting
crazy
choice.
Amazing.
See, I would go with Ron Swanson as one of the
I mean, I
hosts.
love Ron Swanson, but I mean, we already saw what that would sound like when he hosted when Joan was passed out and he was hosting Pawnee Today, and he's just taking calls like about people needing advice and shit.
I'll say this much. If he was referring to just straight podcasters that would be doing the show, I would pick Mark Maron because of his fan base and because I love him so much as a podcaster. And I feel like he's kind of opened up a lot of opportunities for independent podcasters because he's so awesome. And yeah, that's what, if it was a podcaster, yes, that's who
You
I
know,
would
if
pick.
it were a podcaster, I say we get a person who is literally at the top of the podcasting game. Literally, her talents are limitless in the field. She hosts an amazing show about trivia, about random facts, and about all this stuff. I think we should get Emily Prokop from The Story Behind and ePodcast Productions to guest host her own episode of the Epic Film Guys. She gets to choose a guest host of her choosing. That would be an episode and a half to hear. Then she could do her own version of the Hopester, and she'd be in here like, "Go fuck yourself! I want a quarter."
And I think actually she may even have the list may even come back for her because he loves her so much. So we'll see. I don't know if that happens, but
Well, I would bring James on, of course, so that we could talk
Hang him!
all
Kill
about.
him! Hang him! Hit him!
We would talk all about Sylvester Stallone.
It'd literally
and
be a
just how
Sylvester
wonderful-
Stallone retrospective the whole time.
That'd be so much fun. And
I would
could
just be
talk-
doing this the whole time.
It's okay. I would just be talking about the one movie I've actually watched him in. I'm sorry. I've never seen Rocky. I'm so sorry. Don't kick me off. But I would talk about how
Where
much
is
I
it?
love Over the Top.
I love Over the Top. We've had this talk.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
I
It's a canon
absolutely
movie,
love
so.
Over the Top. Well, thank you, Nick. I think it would not be an Epic Film Guy podcast at all. It would be Emily Loves 80s Movies. And actually, Justin and I could host together.
Yeah, we boot your ass out, Nick. You'd be out for the
Damn
week.
it.
He picks me and I'm just like,
How
oh, good. I'm
dare
kicking
you.
you off and taking Justin.
I'd love
Son of
to.
a bitch.
It's a date.
It is a date. So, all right. I finally get to say his name correctly. Unlike Fan Celebration 1.0, Scott LeVar has a lot of questions for you guys.
Yourself!
Yes. Number 1. Would you be a hunter, warlock, or titan? Did this have a context?
It's a Destiny reference.
I don't know what he's referring to. Can you
Destiny's
please
garbage.
answer
Destiny's
the
a shit
question?
game. Destiny is a giant piece of shit, Scott. Stop playing it. I told you before. I'll tell you again. Stop playing it. It
Okay.
sucks.
I am
You get to
not
say
aware of
trombone
this.
again, just because.
But it was between a warlock and a what?
A hunter, a warlock, or a titan?
I like warlocks because they're male witches, so I would be that even though I don't even know what he's talking about. Sure. I'll cast spells on people. Yeah.
I
Nick?
refuse to answer.
Okay.
Because Destiny sucks.
God, don't be a dick. Oh my God. Such a jerk.
Now you got Superman upset. Are you happy? Good.
Another question of his. Do you think Tom Hanks will retire? This question makes me sad.
No.
No, he's
You should've
actually
put the
come
whole
back to
nose.
acting in a big way. Like,
Yeah,
He's gonna
the
play
last few
Mr.
years.
Rogers.
Right?
He's fucking
Oh.
Walt Disney, and he's Mr. Rogers. Who else can be both? Very few people can be both. I love the dude, honestly. Even in the movies that he comes out and they're not the best movies, he's still phenomenal in them. He's very good at playing other people that were already previously alive or that are still alive. And he's got the nostalgia factor for those of us, all three of us that are recording right now, because we grew up watching him as a young guy. And we watched him grow, and you see him now, we're like, he can do anything. So I honestly think he'll be the equivalent of what Clint Eastwood is still doing. Though, I mean, regardless of how you think the quality is of Eastwood's directing, I think Hanks will continue to act, and maybe even as he gets older, to continue to do some directing and producing. Never. I don't think he'll ever quit.
Yeah, I don't think he would. And it's funny too, because the Master Debaters talked about it last week when they guest hosted the show. He's like sacrosanct to them. They all love Tom Hanks. And then one of them put Apollo 13 on their most overrated movies, and I swear they were going to cut him like live on the show. Like they were going to cut him. Like, I think one of them called it treason at one point, because they all love the Hanks so much. Yeah, I love.
But to be honest with you, I mean, I love Apollo 13, but I was never aware that it was as highly regarded as they were putting it. Maybe over there it is. I love it. I think it's good, but I never thought of it. It never shows up anyone's like top 5 or top 10 movies of all time list.
I need to start, whenever we talk about bad movies, I need to adapt their colloquialisms, and I need to start calling everything gash, because it's apparently what they call things that are terrible.
I like that. It's much better than you calling everything a piece of shit, Nick. For real, though.
We love cock. Who said that?
Oh.
Where'd that come from?
Never.
Did you guys ever see the Family Ties episode with Tom Hanks?
I have,
No.
yes.
Yes, and he comes in as the uncle, and he's so young. I think it's right after his bosom buddies stint on TV. And he comes in as this alcoholic uncle, and Michael J. Fox comes into the kitchen one night, and he's like, there's no more booze. And he's like looking through the cabinet, and he finds vanilla extract, and he just chugs it. And that's just my favorite Tom Hanks moment that I always think back to. So back to Scott. He also asks, did anyone see Hopper in a Tide Super Bowl ad?
Yes.
Everyone saw it, I think. Everyone. Yeah.
Billions of people.
He's joking. I think he's joking.
Okay.
It's a sarcastic question, I think. Yeah. Because there was like 100 of them.
Yeah, there are a few questions from him. Do you think we will make it to 2020?
I mean, the Earth will.
I don't know.
Car
if we
that's
will.
floating around in space will.
Elon Musk's car.
I don't know. If our country's going to have like military parades and stuff, that just screams to me as utter nonsense. And I don't know. I'd like to hope so, because I'm not a pessimistic person. I don't like to be a cynical person. I like to think that after these 4 years are up, there will be hope again for our country, and our image will no longer be as tarnished as it is now. And maybe we can move on from this. We've moved on from worse. So
I think our
That's all I'm
country
gonna
is better
say.
than and stronger than Donald Trump.
It is,
That's
and
all
we
I'm gonna
will. We will succeed. We don't get political on the show often, actually, almost never. But just saying.
Nick has recently over on his Facebook page. Don't pay attention to it.
Nick loves politics. Nick's actually really good at talking about politics, which is, I'm surprised that the restaurant isn't like a restaurant / I'm complaining about politics podcast at the same time. But
No, I like the restaurant's way too light for that now. Like, even when I complain about stuff, it's way more lighthearted than it is when I shit on a movie on this show.
It's more like I
Exactly.
can't find my favorite tomatoes in the store, so I have to go with my second favorite tomatoes. God damn it. Yeah, I remember last year when I was on the show, and it was, I think, the Monday or Sunday before election night, and I remember being like, all right, guys, when you guys hear this, we are going to be so happy for our next woman president, and being like, oh God, I hope Nick cuts that out. Fuck, I was wrong.
wow, yeah.
That was our Hacksaw Ridge review episode, I do believe, was the last time you were on
I
the
wish
show.
you weren't, but who knows what the political climate would be in our country right now. But you know what? We don't need to talk about all of that. We're the epic film
Now you wanna get
guys.
nuts? Come on.
Come on.
Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts. That's right.
Let's go back to you guys. What's a good beer for a guy that does not like traditional beer? Scott asks.
You know what? I'll throw out Loisauce's number one choice because he's not a big beer guy. And he drinks a beer that I actually respect. You can get it anywhere down here. It's the Vienna Lager. It's a great lager. It tastes good. I could drink like 5 or 6 of them within an hour.
Check.
But
check. Sound.
They're very delicious. Check. If you can get your hands on a Vienna Lager, I know that they're way more popular down here than up in New York. I rarely see them up there, but have you ever had a Vienna Lager, Nick?
Vienna Lager? No, I can't say I have.
I'll bring one up for you. You know, maybe I'll even save one. There's one in the kitchen in my fridge that I'm saving for Lois Sauce. Maybe I'll just take it and mail it to Scott and say, here you go. You can try it now. Because it's crisp. It's not a super light beer, but it's got great flavors, a great balance to it. And it's not boozy, but it's also not light enough where you're like, this is a pussy man's beer. Because no man wants to drink a pussy man's beer.
No,
saying.
That's true.
Just saying.
I would say,
and if you do,
then there's a really great Hefeweizen that a German brewery called Paulaner does that I like to get every now and again, just whenever I want to have a good Hefeweizen. And, you know, Hefeweizens are like, they're unfiltered, but they're far more mild. They're not anything near an IPA or anything. They have no prominence of hops or anything like that. So they just have like this nice kind of full mouth characteristic to them where.
Oh, he almost said it. You almost said it.
Full mouth.
I heard the F there. I heard that
mouth feel to them. Oh. And yeah, no, it's a fantastic beer. So I know they sell that locally, Scott. So check that out.
Yeah, I'm not a big beer person, but Mark likes, my husband, he likes wheat beer. And I actually really like wheat beer just because there isn't that strong hoppy flavor. So the Hefeweizen is kind of, he'll order a Hefeweizen or a wit beer or a wheat beer, whatever they have. Yeah. Scott also asks, what are the essential 4K movies to have in a new collection?
Nick, I think I need to have you answer that question.
Oh, you don't want me to take that one? Are you sure?
I had mentioned the medium is still new. I'll make that clear. It's not to the level that Blu-ray is now, or that Blu-ray was even 5 years ago, because of the fact that a lot of studios are just churning out subpar, mediocre, up-converted transfers of 2K versions of films that were already released on Blu-ray, where, you know, it looks slightly better, but it's not. It also depends on your setup. But I've found that a handful of reference quality transfers so far have been The Revenant, the original Blade Runner, and on top of that, Denis Villeneuve's Blade Runner 2049, which is a true reference quality transfer for 4K, and Planet Earth 2 that I got a couple months back, and I have the new Ocean version that's coming out in a few months pre-ordered that I hope is going to be just as good. If you want reference quality, something that's really going to show you how good the format is, and that's what you got to get.
Nick, do you have anything that you would want? Okay, if you had a 4K TV, what would be the first movie you bought for it?
I don't know. It's so far away from any kind of tangible reality to me that I could not even answer the question, because I probably couldn't even realistically own a 4K setup for like another 5 years, and then there'll be something better than that. So
5K?
Who knows? Like I don't even have any idea. I have no idea, but we're going to go ahead. We've got so many more questions to get to. Justin and I are probably going to talk about a little bit of film news and whatnot when we wrap into our next segment. So stay with us. We've got a lot more amazing show coming for you right after this. This week in epic film history. Go down to my beautifully well organized and crafted and written show notes and click on the link for the Redbubble store, and you'll be able to go buy some sweet, sweet swag from the Epic Film guys. Sweet, sweet swag.
It might even get you laid. Maybe like once in 5 years, but at least it's once, right? Right?
Listen, if you're wearing like Epic Film guys swag to a bar and picking up chicks, I don't necessarily know that I would want to meet the girl that would be like, yeah, you're wearing an Epic Film guy shirt, I'll bone you.
It's almost like I was going to say, like, do you remember Hot or Not? It was like back in the late 90s, early 2000s. You would like post your picture on a social media site, and you would just like click Hot or Not. It would like rate it like 1 out of 10. Tinder. I guess that's like what it is now, but I'm kind of
I'm sorry, for you, Grinder.
Okay.
Yeah, he's big into the grinder scene.
So go ahead. Go. I want to hear your rating. How did you think? What was Deadpool's rating, please?
Deadpool's rating, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
8.5. What the fuck?
Wait a minute. Stop
I know.
it, Nick. Stop it.
I'm difficult to impress.
Damn non-professional fucking
No.
movie reviewers.
We discussed already that we were going to get rid of the half thing because Justin kept doing it. So we can't do halves anymore. We have to do a solid number. Nick used to beat up Justin over it.
Then 9. It's not even a question. It got like an 8.9 or whatever you want to call it.
What the hell? Wait, get out of here.
Bob is basically a Deadpool side character. Like some people call him a sidekick. He works for Hydra. He only works for Hydra because they have a dental plan. That's really it. That was it.
Plan.
Lisa needs braces. That was the joke I was trying to talk to you about earlier.
Star Wars did distract me from ranting about Marvel for a while.
It was a New Hope all over again, and god damn it, I can't believe I went to see that piece of shit. I can't believe I spent. Fuck J.J. Abrams, fuck Star Wars. I'm selling my Boba Fett's back. Boba Fett's the greatest character of all time, if that's the fucking movie they're gonna give us. That was Nick Hastings.
That's the greatest impersonation of Nick that I've ever heard. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up to Dan, our best guest yet. Listen here. Listen here, everyone that's on my fucking podcast. I own this podcast. It is the Justin's Lisp podcast. Change the fucking name to that right now. Because I own it. I own it. Ladies and gentlemen, I own it. Oh, I own it. Oh.
I will say right now, Wolverine 3 is not going to be R-rated. I'm sorry.
I doubt it will be. I doubt it will be.
This is
too big of a character.
It should be, but it won't be.
It should be. I'll agree with that, Dan, because it'd be great to really, really sink into the brutality of that character in one last film with Hugh Jackman. But this is their franchise character, and this is their franchise actor playing that character. It's not going to go R. There's too much money to be made here, and if you're checking IDs at the door and turning away kids that just want to see Wolverine in one more movie, never going to happen. We're back.
We're back.
I'm the man behind the mask.
And I'm out of control.
It's the Beauty and the Beast.
Man, deep cuts here. Deep cuts. You can tell Emily's a longtime listener to the show. That was where Justin refused to sing the words properly as the release of the live-action Beauty and the Beast was imminent, and then watched it and promptly felt mostly kind of meh about it.
Oh.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's almost a year since I've seen that, and that just goes to show time flies when you're podcasting and you're having fun. But Nick, we've had some questions already from our fans for our Fan Celebration 3.0.
Woo!
Yeah, but we're going to talk some movie news, some movie stuff, and just kind of throw around the old ball between the two of us. Maybe I'll grab my hand or put my hand in an appropriate place and feel some other balls.
Thank
I don't
God.
know. Who knows? I'm babbling here. What's happened in the world of film since the last time we've spoken to each other?
Number one, a few things. I mean, number one, I've been the biggest pod whore on the planet, as is usually the case with me. What did I do? I was on Rabbit Ears with Ashley to review Glee. That's not really movie related, more TV related, but that was a blast watching through, in some cases love watching, in other cases hate watching episodes of Glee to review it.
I have to listen to that to see what you thought about the most recent news about Glee.
No, I think we pretty much blew right through it. I think we just made fun of him for being a pedophile and being dead. I think that's about as far as we got into it. I don't really think we got much further into it.
Yeah, it's just interesting.
It is super interesting. But I did that. We did the Podfix debate night over on YouTube where my system recorded my audio twice for some reason, but we debated who would win in an epic battle royale. And I want to get Justin's take on this just because it's Justin and I know he loves his creatures. He loves all of these creatures specifically. It's who would win in a battle royale between the Xenomorph, the Terminator, the Thing, and the Predator.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Okay, so is this like all of them fighting to get against each other at the same time?
Like, say they were all dropped into an arena and they had to all fight
Rumble
against each other in the moment. Like right there. Like which one of them would come out on top?
Okay, so you're saying the Xenomorph,
the Predator, the Thing, and the Terminator. The T-800 Arnie Terminator, not like the T-1000 or the TX or any other random Terminator that you might think of.
Honestly, I mean, straight up, I feel like it'd be between the Predator and the Terminator. Simple fact is, you shoot the Xenomorph in the head, it's done with. If you see the Thing and you know it's the Thing, you can kill it and it does die. So that's out of the way. Formidable foes have bigger technology. The T-800 and the Predator. Predator is extremely smart, and it has the technology. Fuck you, Nick, for making fun of it because it uses heat sensors to be able to know where its prey is.
I shit on the Predator so much during that. It's
fine. Other than, if you want to hate on it for that, but I mean, it can hide. It's got invisibility. It's got great weapons. It's got a missile launcher on its shoulder. It's extremely smart, and it's very strong and tall. It's got to be between the T-800 and the Predator. If I had to put a number on it and say one would win over the other, it would probably be the Predator. Only because the Predator could hide in a tree and could shoot a missile and blow apart the T-800. It would be blown in half, and it would crawl around, and then it could go down and squash its endoskeleton skull. The Predator is super smart, man. Just saying.
See, we approached it from the angle of which would the Thing be able to assimilate, and we decided that it could assimilate the Predator, but it couldn't assimilate the Xenomorph because of the acid blood. And then we decided the Predator Thing would be like too powerful of an amalgamation to stop.
But you understand, it's like if this is an arena type battle and you're seeing all these things together at once, like as you're seeing the Thing try to take the shape of one of these other things, one of the other adversaries could just blow it the fuck away and be like, okay, you're done.
Yeah.
While you're taking this time to do that. I'm saying if it's in the moment, like a Coliseum type battle, like throw these guys in a match, in the fucking ring, Royal Rumble, and have them battle.
Yeah. It was super fun, though. We did that with Dave from Super Movie Brothers, Caleb and Dan from Netflix and Swill. We had a blast. That was fun. Dan from Netflix and Swill also joined me for a spotlight on the Epic Film Guys of YouTube for Shutter Island. That was a lot of fun. We got to heap praise upon that movie. Gerald from 2Ps was supposed to join us. Unfortunately, he had some scheduling conflicts last minute and could not. And this weekend, Justin, yesterday, in fact, I got to go see the culmination, the climax, if you will, of a very big trilogy. $140 million just about. It just took for the weekend box office. I got to watch 50 Shades Freed. Cue porno music soundboard. Go. It's not doing it. But we not only reviewed, because I'd never seen the second one. Justin Winters came on our show. This was about 10 months ago, and we reviewed the first film. And then I decided, he asked me to come on, and I said yes, to review the second and third film. So I joined him and his wife over on So I Married a Movie Geek. That episode will be landing tomorrow as of recording time. So by the time you hear this episode, it will already be out. So go check that out. It was... It fucking sucked. It was garbage. Those movies are such pieces of shit.
Is there nothing redeemable about watching them? Is there nothing enjoyable? Nothing.
They're funny, but not in like an intentionally funny sort of way.
In a giggly schoolgirl sort of way, like you were talking about.
They're funny, and like you watch them and like the absurdity of it, you can't help but laugh at it. I don't know.
What if, Nick, what if you were watching it as a 14-year-old boy? Is there anything in there that, like when we used to go to the theater and see...
there's tons of Dakota Johnson titty, so, I mean...
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So is that not... I mean, you're looking at it from the perspective of a 40-year-old man, because you're close to that.
Yeah.
You're not, but you're close.
I'm close.
I'm saying, like, if you were a 14-year-old boy and you snuck into this thing, would it be like the whole Sharon Stone Basic Instinct, you spreading her legs in the interrogation?
Possibly. I mean, I don't know. I can't put myself back in that mindset because I'm too trapped in, I analyzed film critically, and they're abysmally made films. All of them are. So I can't put myself in that headspace, but it was a lot of fun joining them and reviewing the films. So go check that out. And I don't know, like I said, I've just been a giant whore. I've been everywhere.
Weren't you on Pod Stuff?
I was on Pod Stuff with Lindsay and Perry Johnson, which was great. We talked more about Restaurant because they really, really love Restaurant. But of course, I can't have a conversation about Restaurant without talking about Epic Film Guys, because that show wouldn't exist without this one. It just wouldn't. It's plain fact. So I talked a lot about where this show started, how it got me to the place that I am now, and how that got me into Restaurant. And now I literally hit release on episode 14 of Restaurant right before we started recording this show. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. They are great people. I love talking to them.
Nick is soon to be quitting watching movies altogether, and he will just be eating all the time and talking about
Listen, if I had an Alamo Draft House here, I could just fucking kill two birds with one stone, but no.
Well, to be fair, the food at Alamo Draft House is fine. You've eaten there once. You had wings when you were there.
I don't care.
But
I would be perfectly happy with it.
I'm just saying.
Kill two birds with one stone.
I'm just saying, because there's only so many things you can eat there. I mean, I saw Lois House's salad last night that he ate at Alamo Draft House. I'm sure you would have a lot to say about that. It wasn't tossed very well. I'll say that much.
Ooh, baby. But yeah, so, I mean, other than that, I didn't get to see a lot of the new trailers that have come out, unfortunately. I know Justin saw Venom. I know Justin saw the Solo trailer, the full-length one. I only saw the Super Bowl TV spot that landed. Tons of stuff coming up this year, but I don't know.
How pathetic are we?
We're still really waiting for that first movie of the year to really get our blood flowing, to get into it.
Well, to be honest with you, I actually watched that movie tonight before we recorded, and I was not prepared to do a full review, but I watched the Netflix original movie, The Ritual, which was getting a lot of buzz from horror fans, and I fucking loved it. It blew me out of the water.
Nice.
I absolutely adored it. There hasn't been that one movie that I watched in theaters, I should say, so far, the beginning of the year so far. But this one, like I said, a lot of my horror friends, yes, that horror community that I like to talk about whenever I'm on the horror movie drafts, that they all love to make fun of me about, but it does exist. It's a real thing, people. There is a horror community.
Justin rallies the troops to get votes.
They're real, and they care about real horror. But no, for real, it's great. It's fantastic. It's about a group of guys, group of friends that go hiking in the Swedish woods, and hijinks ensue. Stuff starts happening to them, some supernatural stuff. It's very well done, very well put together, great suspense, beautifully shot, all on location. And there's some great creature stuff in there as well. Scary, bloody, brutal. I was on the edge of my seat, on my couch, I should say, the entire time. Definitely worth your watch. I had a great time with it. So nice. That's literally all I've watched as far as the new stuff since the last time I talked to you, man. I have not been to the theater to see anything new.
Except for one thing. There was one thing that both of us had a chance to see after the Super Bowl, because they immediately, during the Super Bowl, all of a sudden dropped a trailer that said, hey, this is coming out after the game. It was on both of our most anticipated films of the year list, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. But just really quickly, we can get into just a little bit of the Cloverfield paradox, the third film in the Cloverfield franchise, if you will. You and I don't really know. We haven't talked about it, how we felt about it. So how did you feel about the Cloverfield paradox?
I made sure to unfollow your post that you made when you checked into watching it, because I did not want to get a reaction. And I didn't post my reaction publicly. But to be honest with you, my initial reaction from it was that it was fine. It was passable at best. I loved how it looked. My main issue is that the last film was so perfectly paced. It really got you so connected to the characters that you were involved with, and it was so claustrophobic. It was hard to think outside of the box they were in, the bomb shelter they were in 10 Cloverfield Lane. A great performance by John Goodman. We could talk about that for hours. We both love that film. In this case,
my number
the
two
film
of the
starts
year that year, I think.
Yeah. I mean, this film just starts in and it's light speed ahead. You kind of just get pushed forward, thrust forward into the story of these characters. And I never really got any time or opportunity to really invest myself in any of these characters. It was well acted, but the lead, the character that we're supposed to care about, Hamilton, I felt no connection to. Now, we're supposed to be emotionally invested in this character. She is leaving Earth to go jump on this ship to go try to find a parallel. They're doing a thing to try to save the world, basically. So
they're doing a thing
to save the world. So they basically take like Alien, they take Interstellar, and a couple other movies, and they put them all into one movie in this. So that's where I left it. Like I said, there were some fun moments to be had. It was beautifully shot. There were some funny parts, but overall, Nick, I just walked away from it kind of going, okay, I watched that. It was fine. But after 10 Cloverfield Lane, it paled in comparison.
So put a number on it. Put the rating on it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the fastest rating I've ever given a film on the Epic Film Guys podcast.
How about that?
Wow. I was looking at about a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because I didn't hate it. I see a lot of people giving it like 1 star, 2 star. I'm like, man, you really hate it. But no, there was enough about it where I was entertained. It was, enjoyable for me to watch because I love sci-fi. And I love when you try to do something slightly different, even though, like I said, they melded a few movies into one, but it didn't blow my top off or anything like that.
Yeah, and I'm going to be close to you. I'm actually going to go a little bit lower. I'm going to go 5 because a 6 for me would be a recommendation. I would actually not recommend this film. I'd give it a 5 out of 10. I really did enjoy the performances. I really, really did, but you're exactly right. There's nothing to chew on for any of the characters. They move through everything, I feel, way too briskly. And especially once the film gets into its whole, multiple dimension aspect, like once it really crosses into
which I would have loved, man. Not to cut off. I would have loved that. I love the idea of it. It's a shorter movie. If they would have explored that,
yeah, that was
give the film 15 more minutes and add some of that and more character stuff. Yeah, definitely.
Lost opportunities. They did not spend enough time with it. And I'm sorry, I'm going to be that guy. I loved 10 Cloverfield Lane. Like I said, it was my second favorite film of that year when it came out. But that film took so much time to immerse you in that atmosphere. It didn't care as much about tying it to the Cloverfield universe. And I felt like the flash scenes that went to the guy in the bunker with the little girl, like first he found the little girl.
Yeah, Hamilton's husband.
Yeah. Like, I didn't care. Like, I didn't need it. I didn't want it. Like, the whole time, like, the whole point of this Cloverfield universe was supposed to be, it's all just kind of in the same franchise, and they're all kind of like the Twilight Zone, where it's all films that are just kind of like off the beaten path a little bit, where they explore this and it's like this and it does this or whatever, but they don't necessarily all have to be tied together. This, it seemed to me, was more of a blatant attempt to try to tie in to the other 2 Cloverfield films, and I don't think it needed that. I don't think it did.
It was an interesting idea. It was an interesting concept,
just
and
not
I really
enough time.
Appreciated that part of it.
Just not enough time.
And like I said, I didn't walk away from it hating it. Yeah. I don't think it's a piece of shit, and I would recommend it, Nick, only because I love science fiction. You don't get much good science fiction.
I lamented this
of the caliber.
Yeah.
As far as the budget was good. It looked beautiful. The sets were beautiful. The acting is good. So for me, we don't get much of that. That's slightly original. So I would still say, hey, if you like these things, still watch it.
I mean,
as
an
example, I equate it perfectly
on a big screen. I told you that before we started recording the show tonight. I would have loved to see this on a big screen. But
I equate this to last year's film Sony did, Life, which had Jake Gyllenhaal in it, and it was basically another Alien film, but it was done better than Covenant, and it was very entertaining, and I actually really, really enjoyed that film. And, it's another way for Hollywood to say, hey, this is another genre we can capitalize on. Let's make another space movie. I think they came into it after 10 Cloverfield Lane and said, let's try to connect it again and make it like a prequel. It's happening the same time as the first film. It just didn't have the impact of either the first or the second film, and it fell flat a little bit and failed opportunity. But I'm excited because of the fact, Nick, that they can keep making these films and get new filmmakers behind them, and they have a decent budget behind them, and see what they have to do. So maybe this is just one of the slight missteps, and I'm excited for the future. I'm still excited to see more Cloverfield movies.
Yeah, I definitely am as well. But we're going to wrap up on film discussion and everything like that. We've got so much more that we really need to get into on another proper episode
questions
of the show. But we've got to get to
more utilize Emily.
We've got
She's
to use,
here.
We have literally the greatest podcaster on the planet on the show, and we're just sitting here rambling off about movies that she hasn't seen. So she's just sitting there like, when are these guys going to talk to me?
She don't care. She don't care.
They're sitting there like this. They're like,
I'm on my phone because my friend Kitty has the same tattoo as Justin.
Which tattoo?
The T-Rex.
Oh,
really? The same
yes.
one?
God.
Yeah. Like, it's so similar. It's ridiculous. Hers, actually, it's funny because it looks green, but it's made with blacks and grays.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mine's green, but yeah, it's green. Then I got, yeah, it's green.
And Nick, you're going to get text messages that make no sense because I was trying to send them to her and apparently I sent them to you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, why don't we go ahead and why don't we kick into another round of questions? Like I said, we have the greatest podcaster on the planet on the show, and
yeah,
we're just letting her sit there and twiddle her thumbs. She's sending me text messages randomly, apparently. I don't even know.
If my T-Rex tattoo is that interesting enough to text about, she's got to be bored, man. So,
man,
let's not get you bored, Emily. Let's put you to good use here.
Anyway, how is your sex life?
Let's hear it. Yeah, how is it?
It's great. I get to say, oh, hi, Mark. It's fine. So Scott also asks, we're still in Scott. We have two more Scott
this
questions.
is like the fucking Scott LeVar show.
It is. What is your idea of a dream vacation?
Nick doesn't like the beach, so I'll say that much, Nick. Nick, where do you want to go? I know you don't like the beach.
I hate the beach, too.
Dream
Fuck
vacation would just be like legit round the country brewery tour. Like, I go across the country and back, just stopping at not every brewery. Like, I'd map it. Like, I'd try to map it along the way and go to, like, just hit breweries all because I love tasting different beers. I love different beers from different places that I've never had before. I love it when Justin comes up and brings beers from down there in Virginia that I'll never get the chance to try otherwise. It's great. I love that. So that I have to say that'd be like, I don't even want to go anywhere specific, just to breweries, just to see different places. And plus you get to meet different people in different parts of the country and everything. And even like Europe, like do craft brewery tours in Europe or even like Australia. Like craft brewing's not just an American thing. It's a big thing all over the world. So it'd be great. It'd be just great.
I'll piggyback off that. I do have some dream places that I want to go. I am going some places within the next 6 to 8 months. They're all here though, but I mean, I've never been to Europe. My wife has been there, and she kind of lived there for a little while when she was a teenager. I'd like to go there. And second would be Tokyo. If I had the money to just go, I want to go there, and I'm just going to go there right now. Those are the two spots. And honestly, I've made up my mind that after I hit those two, like Europe, meaning like all of the different, like go to UK, Germany, go to France, go to Italy. But after that and Tokyo, I'd be good. I'd be like, I'll go back to the US and I'll live the rest of my life and I don't have to go anywhere else. That's really it. So I would probably have to say Europe. I just want to like backpack around Europe. But just not go to a Swedish forest though. Not like the guys in The Ritual, that film I just talked about. You don't want to go there. Don't go backpacking in a Swedish forest.
You could go to Vondersex. Like in Eurotrip.
That sounds good. I like that. That sounds very sexy.
I sucked a dick last night.
They do that over in Australia, just so you know. I mean, they do that normally.
God damn it, Wayne. Can I play? I don't have like a sad song I could play. I wish I could play like a sad song for the countdown soundboard because unfortunately, I think because I've been working with Paul trying to diagnose their issues. I think that they actually have a mixer issue. I think they may have to replace their mixer.
Yeah,
but
Wayne took a hammer to it.
Yeah,
like,
no
it's
shit.
Not that hard.
Paul just hasn't seen the big holes in the bottom of it where he smashed the shit out of it. But yeah.
He did what they did in Empire Records is when Paul wasn't looking, Wayne just picked it up and put a lighter to it and put it back down. It's fine. I'm glad you got that. Thank you. I love Empire Records. All right. Let's go to Scott's last question. How can I help you guys in your quest to be the best?
Listen to the show.
Yeah.
And he already does that.
Yeah, send us 150,000. We'll use it to get. We'll use it.
Send us 150,000. I mean, pimp us out whenever you get the chance. If you're ever talking to somebody about film, you think they would enjoy the show, and that goes for everybody, not just for Scott, but anybody. If you're ever talking to somebody who loves film, and especially if they enjoy really out there opinions about a lot of different stuff, and they like hearing. Meaning me, definitely. They like hearing all sorts of crazy, passionate reviews and retrospectives of different film franchises and whatnot. Just hook us up, man. Hook us up. Hook a brother up.
Tell people. Yeah.
I wear your t-shirts every time I go to the movies.
She's wearing it now.
It looks so good on you. I'm sitting here. I'm looking at you wearing it. It looks beautiful on you.
I think that's just Emily in general.
Well, she is beautiful. I met her, and when I met her, she was wearing a shirt. And it was awesome because I don't go anywhere and see anyone wearing the shirt or anything. It happened recently. Okay, I won't lie. I went to an Alamo Draft House recently, and Paul, who won the shirt from
the
host or something, he was wearing it. But I don't go anywhere and actually see anyone wearing one of our shirts. So I was like, oh my God, it's so cool. It's awesome. And it looks so good on you. It's so awesome. So
I think I have 3 now. Yeah.
I have none. I have 0.
What?
He burned them all.
Mine got ruined.
I trashed some movie that he liked, and he went outside and burned them all. He was like, "Go fuck yourself."
I went out and printed a piece of paper with Nick's face on it, the picture of both of us together, the old picture of us at the bar. And I took it and I sliced it in half, put it on the shirt, and just said, "Fuck you, you're dead to me," and just burned it. No,
I think
really.
You could sell that shirt of the ripped photograph of both of it, both of the ripped sides.
That'd be so cool. Maybe we'll release that next week after Nick says he's not going to see Black Panther and I do decide to quit the show. We'll see if that happens or not. I don't know.
Dan Brenic asks, what video game do you feel would be a good adaptation to film?
Fuck off, Justin.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you right now.
That's not a game.
I'll tell you what game would do well. The nostalgia 80s boom is huge right now. Kung Fury, among others, Turbo Kid. We had Stranger Things. We've got Summer of 84 coming out. I think a Streets of Rage movie would be awesome. It's one of my favorite games for Sega Genesis. Yes, it's just a beat-em-up, side-scrolling game, whatever, but very much like a Double Dragon ripoff. Well, we already saw a Double Dragon movie. We saw how that went. So I'd love to see a Streets of Rage as well as a Contra movie. How awesome would it be, Nick, to see Stallone and Arnold as old ass men suit up and do they're in the jungle and they're shooting dudes?
We already saw that movie, Justin. It was called The Expendables 1 through 3.
No, Arnold didn't get to shoot anyone really. I know
they didn't get the power ups and have the gun that shot 4 different ways and stuff.
Those are the games that I love and care about. But I would honestly, for real though, Dan, I'd love to see a super retro, over the top, kind of campy, cheesy Streets of Rage movie. I think it'd be awesome.
I'm gonna
Nick,
go.
What about you?
Man?
Yeah, I'm gonna go completely the opposite direction and just the immersive worlds that Bethesda's been able to create with both the Fallout series and the Elder Scrolls series. I think you could easily launch film franchises in either one of those realms, and they could be huge if done well. And that's the key thing with video game movies is that you just haven't had one that's done well.
None of them ever are.
My God.
That's
but
why I think Streets of Rage, because you can just make it fun and silly.
You could grab the post-apocalyptic thing with Fallout. And I think people would flock to it if you did it right. And I think the same thing's true with Elder Scrolls, because you've got that whole fantasy element. It's all elves and, magic users, all that different stuff. I think either one of those would be great. I think Bethesda's really, really tightly holding the reins of film adaptations for those, though. I don't think they want to give those out or anything like that, because I think they want to have really tight control on them. And I don't know. We've seen game companies involved in productions of films Blizzard with Warcraft, where it didn't really turn out all that well. So that's kind of a mixed bag as well. Could just go one way or the other. I don't know, but yeah, that's. I would say Resident Evil, a good Resident Evil adaptation, even though we already had 6 of them. But I think if you did somebody that actually cared about the games and really, really cared about kind of skewing it in the direction, especially atmospherically, of the first few games, man, those would make some of the best fucking horror movies ever.
I just want my Super Mario Brothers movie. They're making another one supposedly, and I just want John Leguizamo to come back as Luigi, and I'll be happy. That's all I care about. Do it.
Am I remembering it wrong, or was there talk about a Tetris movie?
There was at one point, but I don't know whatever happened to it.
There's been talk about a lot of different video game movies that like never came to fruition, or they never actually started to make or anything. Because to be honest with you, like that's one medium.
Fuck, you make a Tetris movie.
You'd think though that they would capitalize on, because there's so many awesome characters, especially in pop culture. Gaming's still huge, bigger than I would even say movies in a sense.
There's so many. That's the kind of thing, especially like I'm talking about with worlds like Bethesda's created with Fallout and with Elder Scrolls. Like there's so much depth in terms of just the world at large. Like you could take a game and just set it in the game universe, and it could just be its own thing. But I mean, I know Warcraft kind of sort of tried to do that, or no, Assassin's Creed tried to do that, and that was also a giant flaming piece of shit from what I've heard. But like you could do that, and you could just set like a new film in that world where the games are still canon, but then it's its own thing, and it allows film audiences to get access to it and really get into it. I don't know. I could go on about this forever. In terms of video game films, it's something that I'd really love to see. I'd really, really love to see the right creative team get together and really make the great video game movie, because once it does, it's going to usher in the video game movie renaissance. Comic book movies will fall away.
Hey man, we'll see. Nick, we got Tomb Raider coming up. It may be at least decent. It may be decent.
At least with Tomb Raider, and that's the kind of thing with cinematics in games now with CGI. The visuals in that Tomb Raider film look exactly like the Tomb Raider reboot. Like literally picture perfect. So could this be the one? Who knows? I guess we'll have to wait. Actually, that comes out in like a month or two? It's pretty quick.
Not that far off,
It's pretty soon, so we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, I looked up Tetris, the movie. Apparently it's $80 million budget, and it will be a trilogy.
$80 million.
Anyway, let's go back to
just to see some blocks connect to each other. You know,
I'm excited for the trilogy part. I want to see how they connect them all.
Tetris.
So, Paul and Wayne, your brothers down in Perth from the Countdown. They asked, pick a film character that is most like your co-host in your opinion and justify this to him.
I sucked a dick last night.
Paul, really?
Sure, Paul.
Not necessary.
I have a feeling they're referring to their idea of who they really love Nick to be.
I equate Nick to every single character that Seth Rogen has ever played.
Exactly.
I can't think of any other character because he's witty. He's obnoxious and annoys me sometimes, but I still love him. And, you know, he plays the same fucking character in every movie he's in. So
that's me to a T. I really, really think that every time I watch like a slasher movie, I can picture Justin in that role of the killer, like the slasher killer. Like, you know, he's this dude who you see him from afar. If you don't like get to know him up close or anything, but you see him from afar and you judge him on his appearance. He's got this long hair and he's got all these tattoos and everything like that. And he has this frame where he's not like nearly as big of a guy as I am. Like I'm way bigger than he is, but like it's like stacked, like the way his frame is built, like he's got a bigger upper body than his legs and he can kind of look imposing. So I think Justin could totally be the next Jason Voorhees, or, you know, be the next Michael Myers or something like. He's going to be murdering the shit out of everybody, and yeah.
See, I was even going for the Skeet Ulrich as soon as you said that. I was like, oh my god, he's like Skeet Ulrich in Scream. I could see Justin as that.
That is a huge compliment, because I did meet that man 3 years ago, and even at his age now, he's a handsome devil. You sucked his dick. I did not. I really, if he asked me to, I mean, I don't know. Handsome dude. He was like a huge heartthrob in the late 90s.
He was, yeah.
Damn, dude. Wow. You just made me blush. You can't tell in the video, my cheeks are red. See? Red. That's awesome. Oh, I like that. That's fine with me.
Dan asks, I will stay on brand and ask, what is a property you'd like to see on Netflix?
I mean, I would have said the Cloverfield movie, but it already came out. Oh, you know what? The Other Side of the Wind, the Orson Welles movie. It's coming out later this year. Boom.
What property would I like to see on Netflix?
Oh, is that something? Does he mean like something I would like to see come to Netflix?
Like something that's not already on there? Because that's tough because everything that's really good is mostly...
Dan, can you clarify?
Fix yourself!
Oh, apparently not.
You know what's not on there? Ghostbusters. Because we were looking for it the other day, and we were pissed that it wasn't on there.
I wonder if he's asking if it's a movie that we'd like to see added to the roster, like as far as like, because, you know, or if it's like something we'd like to see brand new, like a new series based on a property that we love.
Well, it just says property. Is there anyone that Netflix is against? Like they won't run anything from a certain studio, maybe?
No, not that I know of.
After this whole Disney thing, they won't be doing that. But I mean, up until this point, they've been able to work with every single major company to license out their shows. And because who doesn't have Netflix? I mean, I don't know a single person that doesn't have Netflix. I would like to say, Dan, and this is connecting to your other question, video game adaptation. Let's have a Streets of Rage fucking series on Netflix. Make it rated R. Make it TVMA. Give me some HDR 4K on that shit. Make it super neon. Make that shit glow. I'm all about it.
I don't know. I'm gonna stick with my original answer.
You know what I would like to see come back to Netflix are workout videos. They had them like 7 or 8 years ago. No longer on Netflix, right?
That's going back.
Yeah, they used to have them on Netflix, and now they don't anymore. And you would think, like, I love sweating to the oldies. I'll be honest. They don't have them on Netflix.
It's pretty awesome.
It probably costs like a pittance to get them on there, too. I wonder why they stopped. Probably nobody was watching them except for Emily.
Yeah. It's just me, the fat old ladies at the fake mall set, and Richard Simmons just dancing to disco.
There you go. No, damn it. You just reminded me. I want every single Richard Simmons workout video, all of it, every single vintage. I want all of them on Netflix.
Yeah.
From start to finish. Do a series of him. That's what I want.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring it on. Bring on some Richard fucking Simmons. I won't even be working out. I'll just be sitting there eating.
Whole catalog. Every Charles Bronson film I want on Netflix.
I'm gonna be eating buffalo wing pretzels, and I'm gonna be sitting there on the couch with my gut hanging out, watching Richard Simmons workout videos, just to enjoy. I won't be working out.
It's like how people watch Bob Ross, but they're not actually painting.
Exactly. It's entertainment. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'll let them do the work for me, and I'll pretend I'm them. I don't know.
Exactly.
So Ashley from Rabbit Ears, she wants to know marry, bang, kill former guests on EFG.
My favorite part of this was that Dan responded all three answers as him. Yeah, we've had a lot of guests.
There's no one that's really.
You can kill James. You can kill James.
Okay, James. Fuck you, James. There you go.
Stallone rules. He's one of the best creative minds of our time, and you didn't like that line. I'll give it to you again. See what you say. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to kill anyone, really. I'd rather see them suffer for a long time.
Justin. It's marry, bang, kill. It's not marry, bang, beat up.
Can it be suffer for a long time before they die? Not just kill immediately. If I really hate them, I would want to kill them. I want to see them suffer. Kill. All right. So that James is getting that. Marry. I'm already married to Nick, so I don't need to marry anybody else. He's on the show. Bang.
Loy sauce.
No, not Loy sauce. He's my son, basically. I'll have to say this much because Caleb is very charismatic. He comes on the show. He makes us laugh. He's like the dude trying to pick up chicks at the bar where he comes in. He's got, he slides in next to you. There's no effort. He makes jokes. They're so natural. He puts his arm around you. He's ready to take you home before you even realize it. And you're there and you're getting a dick in the mouth. It's got to be Caleb. Seriously. He's super smooth.
Wow.
You don't even realize it. He's a smooth operator.
Damn.
Caleb from Netflix and Swell for me. For the bang part.
Who would I kill? Let's see. Who would I kill? I'm going to kill James too. Just to keep with it thematically. Just because why? Because James took the classy little podcast away from the world. I already have a pod wife, so I'm already married to Emily. So Yeah. Done. And then who would I bang? I'm going to take him to the red room, baby.
Bang, bang.
I'm going to take him to the red room and we're going to get tied up. Justin Winters, baby. Yeah. Shock Top himself, because we just talked about the 50 Shades movies. That's what I got.
So Blame Your Brother asked, if you were cannibals, which movie character, not actor, but character, would you most want to eat?
That's a great question. Oh my God. Holy shit. That's another question that would take me all day, because there's so many characters that I'd love to eat that look delicious.
That look delicious.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, people in movies look delicious. Oh my God, this is so difficult. Nick, do you have anything at all to interject here?
Man, what would I want to eat?
Character, not actor, but character.
Man, damn it. That means I have to remember the character names and shit.
Yeah, you can take a minute to look it up if you have to.
I'm gonna go totally off the wall here. Are you ready for this? I'm gonna make somebody out there is gonna cry. Somebody out there is gonna cry.
I'm hoping I'm ready.
I'm gonna eat Bing Bong from Inside Out. It didn't specify whether it had to be a real life person or whether it had to be a cartoon. And I just love Bing Bong, and he brings all the sad tears when he sacrifices himself. Don't make me think about it.
I swear, Up was like the saddest cartoon for me until I saw Inside Out. I was like, this is awful. This is just like up and then down and then up and then down.
You were like, no, Bing Bong, come back.
You know, I'm trying right off the top of my head.
Any character played by Jessica Chastain.
Well, you're along the same lines as I'm getting to, but you know what? Go back to the mid-90s, and I'm thinking, you know what's delicious to me? Something that's vulnerable, something that's strong, but at the same time, you know, there's a deep sexiness to it. I think that I would want to eat Helen Tasker. Jamie Lee Curtis plays that character in True Fucking Lies, because you see this very bland cardboard female character, and then when you see her dance, that is the most delicious looking thing that I've probably ever experienced as a teenager on the home screen, because I didn't get a chance to see it on the big screen yet. That will happen. I will make Lois House book True Lies at Alamo just so I can see it on the big screen. But no, it's going to be Helen Tasker
next year, right?
That's right, baby.
Yeah.
So Helen Tasker,
I got a little
Jamie Lee
dick.
Curtis.
It's pathetic.
And they just gave you the excuse to play that. So there you go. That just goes. Yeah. I mean, seriously, when she starts to dance, dude, no, dance more slowly.
The funny thing was, a really, really funny story is I was at the gym and I flipped on AMC whenever I'm there. That's what I always turn to because they're always just playing movies. And True Lies was on, and it was legit 5 minutes before the dance scene. So I got to watch like the whole dance scene and everything. And then when he has him in the jungle and he's all drugged and shit, and then he breaks out and he's like Ramboing through all the guys. I Married Rambo, like that whole thing. Oh man, what a great movie that is. God, that movie is amazing.
It is amazing. So yeah, Helen, I'm coming for you. I'm going to eat you alive, baby.
Justin from So I Married a Movie Geek asked,
Speak of the devil.
Yeah, if you were magically forced to live inside a movie Groundhog Day style forever and ever, which movie would you choose?
In a movie world. So you're not going to be like the hero of the movie. You're just going to be some random dude hanging out in that world. In that case, I would immediately like rule out any superhero movies or anything, because I don't want to be living in a world where there's, you know, people getting thrown through buildings and shit. Like, that's scary.
I would be living in Hill Valley in Back to the Future. That's where I would be. That's where I'd be, man. I'd love it.
He'd want to live in Biff's Hill Valley after he comes back and he's told the sports almanac and Back to the Future.
You know what? To be fair, I would fit in perfectly with all those.
You're already living in Trump's
vandals.
America. It's the same thing.
I'd be riding my motorcycle. I'd be getting drunk and smoking weed out in front of Biff Tower, and either one's fine, but I would prefer 1955 because it's so wholesome. But I'd want to be the Marty type character. I mean, I know it doesn't specify what character, but I want to be like the guy that knows that it's not like you're from a different era so you can enjoy it more type thing. Even though the whole movie, he just wants to get back to the 80s, which I get it. because I love the 80s more. But the 50s and the 80s are my two favorite eras. It'd be like that whole... I love it. It's great. Hell Valley.
Yeah, I would take it as like you're dropped into the universe, but you have no idea what's going on, or like you have no knowledge of like.
Well, where would you want? That's where would you want to go?
I don't know. That's why I'm thinking you'd have to think of like the idyllic kind of place where you would really
pick a
really
fucking
want
rom-com then or something. So it'd just be easy. So you could just sit at a diner and just
just
I don't
sit
know.
at a diner.
Real world, regular world. Not
like you wouldn't want to like pick the Watchmen universe where. Dr. Manhattan, where you'd be literally terrified that Dr. Manhattan's just going to come and blink the world out of existence at any time.
And you wouldn't want to be in Blade Runner either, because it's a really depressing place to be, honestly.
Well, then
everything looks cool, but
you'd be scared and you wouldn't know if you were hitting on a person or a robot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, seriously.
I would live in. I had one too that I was thinking of in my head. I did. I would live in the View-esque universe, the Kevin Smith like connected universe. I would just hang out in that universe because George Carlin is a Catholic cardinal in that universe. Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to run into a quick break. When we come back, more questions with Emily from the story behind.
We'll be back.
Make it whisper on my pillow. Save the winter on the ground. A sad and silence.
Shampoo. Just don't ask questions.
All around. Touch me now. I close my eyes.
I don't want to stop it until Justin stops singing.
But it's over now. But I lost it somehow. But it's over now.
I'm never happier than when I do these fucking megasodes. I swear to God. Oh my God.
Do you like podcasts?
Do you like listening to podcasts?
Do you have ears?
Do you like Justin and Chrissy?
That's our names.
I know. We have a podcast. It's called So I Married a Movie Geek.
Check out this clip where we talk Star Wars sex.
I don't know how to explain this articulately, but what quote unquote gives me lady boners as far as this goes is not a person, and not like, especially not like a guy where, like Harrison Ford or Luke, or, even if I swung the other way and said, ooh, Leia.
Are you going to Ewoks? Two Ewoks like stacked on top of each other?
I mean,
little double Ewoks.
If I were going to go that route, I would just go for Chewbacca. Like, why do I need two stacked on top of each other when I can have Chewbacca?
So you like movies? Do you like good times? Check us out. We're So I Married a Movie Geek at Movie Geekcast on Twitter. We're on Facebook, iTunes, Podbean, Google Play, Stitcher, all those other things. We'll see you at the movies.
And welcome back, and thanks for hanging out with us here on the Epic Film Guys podcast and our fan celebration 3.0. We're all about those mouth feels on this episode because we've got Emily from the story behind it. She just absolutely loves hearing us say that.
I do. I absolutely do. The mouthfeel of this quesadilla that I'm eating is perfection.
That number 7, I see you sipping a Diet Coke now as well.
Yeah.
We do have some more questions left from you guys that you wanted to know the answers to. So, Emily, feel free to jump on ahead and ask those questions.
All right. Probably Chris from the More Gooder Than podcast asked, would you rather have to eat solely at chain restaurants or only see movies directed/produced by Michael Bay?
Michael Bay. Times a million. Fuck chain restaurants. They're fucking garbage.
Taco Bell's pretty damn delicious right now.
It really depends because Michael Bay is
like a chain. I consider it just fast food, which is different to me.
Michael Bay is the equivalent.
Like sit down.
Michael Bay is he's a fast food. He's not fast food. He is, but he's also a chain restaurant because he makes the same thing over and over again. It depends on what restaurants they are.
but I am that hipster in the sense that my family and I go out of our ways. I was just actually talking to Emily about during our little break there. We love going to a Korean Mexican place, which is like Korean Mexican fusion. We like to go out of our way to try new stuff all the time. And I didn't realize, until recently that like the hipsters that are like, I won't eat at established franchises. They're like ruining the franchises. But at the same time, I'm like, who the fuck eats at a TGI Fridays now? Like, I don't know anyone that does. And if they do, I'm like, dude, there's some place like 2, doors down that you could try that's like actually good food. So, you know what? I'll piggyback off Nick. Fuck mainstream franchises. I'll watch Michael Bay movies.
God, your podcast would suck then.
Yeah, no, we would. Well, actually, you know what? Honestly, though, there are a lot of fans. All those fans that hated us and sent us death threats for that Transformers Age of Extinction review on YouTube, they'd probably be all newborn fans of the Epic Film Guys. We would have thousands upon thousands of fans that just love that movie. That would actually make us rich, because a lot of dumb people in America love Michael Bay movies. So it'd be boring, but we'd be rich probably.
You got death threats for that? Really?
Yeah.
Gross.
I did.
Fun.
I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
Well,
yeah.
This whole thing came up because like whoever or whatever a fucking Lobo is, and I don't read comic books, so whatever. But like apparently it's news now that DC is looking for Michael Bay to direct a Lobo movie, and like I posited the question over in Jake and Tom Conquer the Group. It's the Jake and Tom Conquer the World fan group on Facebook. I asked the question. I said, take out the Transformers movies. And Michael Bay's actually got, I mean, there's a couple misses in there. There's a couple ho-hum, like not so good, like this is okay, whatever. But a lot of his movies are pretty decent if you take out the Transformers movies. Like,
I think I asked. Go ahead.
I'm saying if you give us that Michael Bay, fine. I'm fine with that. I mean, I don't want Transformers Michael Bay where it's literally just so much visual noise you can't even understand what the fuck's going on, but I feel like Warner Brothers would rein him in just a little bit harder than Paramount does for these fucking Transformers movies, because Paramount basically just writes a blank check to him because they know they're going to make $1 billion.
Well, they didn't the last 2, so I don't know. For me at this point, like Michael Bay is Transformers Michael Bay, and he hasn't been anything else since he started Transformers.
You didn't like I thought Pain and Gain was okay. I didn't think it was great.
No, it was fine. No, I actually, no. To be honest with you, it was funny. I had fun with it, but it's not a good film or anything. It was good popcorn fun. I will not hate on that because it had a great chemistry between The Rock and Mark Wahlberg, and I love the whole '80s bodybuilding stuff. But I'm getting off on a tangent here. Fuck it. I'd still rather watch Michael Bay movies than eat at. Was the end game like for the rest of my life, or is it just like a certain period of time?
I'm
permanently?
Sure permanently, yeah.
Only, it says only see movies directed or produced by Michael Bay.
Produced. Okay, so that still gives me a little bit of leeway. Okay, cool. I'm down with that.
Okay.
I don't want to be eating at fucking TGI Fridays and Chili's and
Applebee's. The bees. You can eat elbow shaped into ribs.
All right. Super Movie Bros asks, well, it's not a question, more of a request. Cast a movie. I don't care what genre or what the film is about. Fill that in yourself. And choose a director, an actor, an actress, and if you're feeling extra frisky, choose a composer. Have fun. Can't wait to hear it.
Man, it makes me super sad just thinking about composers because Johan Johansson just passed.
I know, that's super upsetting.
Well, it doesn't say they have to be alive.
I'm going to throw this up right now. Slasher film, James Wan directing, composing, John Williams. I know, a little bit. Seriously, dude, look at his early work. Composing, John Williams. Lead actor, Charles Bronson. Lead actress, Natalie Portman.
I figured you were going to say Charles Bronson again. Just like in a wig. I'm going to say give me a superhero movie. with Denis Villeneuve in the chair, and give me composing. I will say, bring him back in a big way. Bring Hans Zimmer back into it, because man, his superhero score work has been great. And actor, man, it's hard to touch an actor that hasn't been in a superhero film, really. Oh, Jesus, an actor.
Tom Cruise hasn't played a comic book character.
Fuck Tom Cruise.
Well, we both love Tom Cruise. What do you mean, fuck Tom Cruise?
Fuck him.
Tom Hanks, superhero movie?
No, Tom Hanks. So put Tom Hanks in it. He's just the main character. He doesn't have to be the superhero in it.
No, you're right. It said main actor, yeah.
And we'll put you know what? Fuck it. Let's post it up. Let's put Meryl Streep in it too.
Holy shit! Okay,
done.
Some old ass fucks in that movie.
Give me that movie. Whatever that ends up being, I don't even know. Now I'm trying to picture that movie in my head and be like, what the fuck would that movie be about?
It's the old man's. I could see Tom Hanks playing an aging Superman. I don't know.
Wow.
Oh my god, they could do The Incredibles in real life with aging Tom Hanks. Being like, I have to go back and.
I love how you call him aging Tom Hanks. He's already aged.
I know.
He's aged. He's not getting any younger. He still looks great though.
In my head, there's not that much.
I know what you mean. You still picture him as being young. I know.
Tom Hanks is timeless. You shut your hormones.
Yeah, exactly. I'll see him, and the only way that he looks aged is that he wears glasses.
Like, when I watch him in the post, for example, when I watched him, I keep picturing him, and I'm like, no, the Forrest Gump jawline is not. It's not there. No, I'm going to picture him instead in my head with the Forrest Gump jawline, because I'm like, I can't accept the fact that his jawline isn't the same anymore.
No, Tom Hanks, if you're listening, we love you. We love you so much.
We do.
Please come on the podcast.
Just to hang out with the Hobster, just to do a segment with the Hobster.
Oh,
because I feel like Tom Hanks would totally do it. If we were like, okay, so Mr. Hanks, get this. And he would totally be down for it. He totally would.
It would be David S. Pumpkins versus the Hobster, and it would be pretty amazing.
I keep hoping desperately that the Hobster gets hit by a car again, but he actually gets killed this time.
Shaken Not Nerd on Twitter asks, how is this for an idea? You get one of Justin's favorite movies, Jaws, and Nick's fave, Dunkirk, and put them together. Would it be entertaining?
Oh my god, that's insane, dude.
That'd be a great movie.
Think about all of those soldiers in the water, because a lot of them get in the water. A lot of them are like, they're on ships that flood because they're bombed. And it's almost like the whole Indianapolis story when they
Jaws,
when they bombed Hiroshima and all the sharks in the water. It's basically that. But more sensational and more over the top because you've got mechanical fucking sharks coming out of the water and eating people whole. That'd be amazing, dude. Oh my god. But especially if you did it like seriously and not like in a campy, fun way, like just seeing Dunkirk, but with sharks actually eating people every 2 seconds. I'd love it.
Nolan would actually, like, because he's such a stickler for practical effects,
he'd still use the mechanical sharks.
Yeah,
or yeah, exactly.
By sharks, like partially.
Or he'd say, I could hear him saying it. In the 70s, Spielberg couldn't get sharks to be trained. I'm going to actually do that. We're going to train sharks. We're actually going to.
And then he'd get amputees that are like missing limbs and shit, and he'd have the shark biting on. He'd train him to eat like the fake leg and stuff like that.
Or they could use the green screen, like use the green arm, and then have him bite it off, and then you could see like the half limbs still already. Dude, he would do a good job. Seriously, that'd be awesome.
This is totally happening.
Wow.
Dun-na.
All right.
Dun-na.
Podfix Network, your network, they tweeted and asked if you got to rename the Podfix Network, what would you rename it as?
The Epic Film Guys Network? I don't know.
I would honestly say something without the word pod in it, just because everyone sees the hashtags of pod and they just add it to whatever tweet they're talking about. And I'm sure your network is like, stop, you guys aren't even on the network.
Well, that and the fact that Tide Pods are so in right now.
I'm thinking Tide Pod Network, Tide Pod Fix.
Why don't we just add?
I'm getting my Tide Pod Fix. Here's the thing about it. I'm getting my Tide Pod
Wes,
Fix.
where are you with the branding on this shit, man? Get to work on some new graphics that have Tide Pods in them.
That's amazing.
I don't even know. Name it the We Promise We're Not going to Add Any More Movie Podcasts Network.
Exactly.
I'd be done with that.
Please do. Please.
I'd be done with that. We lost a couple along the way, but then we picked more up, and it's like, God damn it.
All right. Who Spiked the Puns asks, you are offered your own biopic, but told that you must select either Uwe Boll, M. Night Shyamalan, Ben Affleck, or Michael Bay as the director. Choose and justify yourself.
Man.
I'm taking Shyamalan because he did. Nick can bitch all he wants. I liked Split, and
Split's
he's
a piece
proven,
of garbage.
It's not though, and it made lots of money, and lots of critics liked it. And you're the minority, so no one cares that you're against the grain on that one.
That
Nick.
movie.
No, fuck you. Fuck you. Seriously, no, buddy. Fuck you. I love you though.
Fuck off,
you.
Justin.
No, fuck you too, Dan, and fuck everyone else that says fuck me. I'm talking now. You're all gonna listen. If I had to pick out of the choices available, Shyamalan's made a couple of classic movies and a lot of bad ones. He's not like Bay. Like, no one wants a Uwe Boll movie. Like, no. But to be fair though, he would probably actually perfectly capture the essence of the epic film guys pretty well. So I don't know. Shyamalan might be a little bit too classy for us, but he's still who I'd pick.
Too classy for us. Yeah, I want this thing. I want the Epic Film Guys film to be a totally nonsensical, schlocky. Just people are blowing people away and shit's blowing up like crazy.
You're gonna pick Michael Bay. I knew it.
No,
it.
I'm picking Uwe Boll, man. And then if people tell him he doesn't like the movie after it's over, he'll go fight him. And it'll be all over. It's perfect.
I mean, but I'd like to at least think the guy that's making our movie at least made one good movie.
I mean, maybe that would be the one.
The first one in his whole career. All right, so we'll give him some. We'll give him some faith and hope that he does a good job. Okay, I get it.
All right, so Cooter and Minx on Twitter asked top 3 music-themed movies.
Jailhouse Rock, Purple Rain, and this is all right off the top of my head.
It's okay to say Xanadu. You know that, right?
No,
okay.
I'm not saying that.
Come on.
Music theme. Those are my 2 first picks. Jailhouse Rock, Purple Rain.
You're not going to say La La Land?
Well, it's no. I'm thinking music themed, whereas music is the not that it's a music call, but it's the theme. One of the core themes of the film itself is that it has to do with music. So it's a musician based film.
Well, I would think La La Land. Oh, sorry. I just want to answer all your questions now.
No, I mean, because neither of them. Well, I mean, yes, there's a character in that's a musician, but it's.
I totally think it counts because I would pick that and Dreamgirls because Dreamgirls is kind of the same way where they're trying to become a music group. So even though it's a musical,
you're
I
right.
think it counts.
No, you're right. You're right in that sense because yes, he is a musician. He's a piano player. But if I had to pick a top 3, this is a 3 movie choice.
Did you see Whiplash? That would be
I
on
did.
mine.
Yeah, I love Whiplash.
Here's my third one. Done. Whiplash.
Shut up. I can't pick a third right now because it would take too much time for me to think of it. We don't have that much time. So I'm just going to say my first 2 would be Purple Rain and Jailhouse Rock. Right off the top of my head, I'm sure there's another one that I could think of if it wasn't as late as it is. And
Is The Room not one of them? The Room should be one of them.
Tommy
was probably a successful musician in it too.
Is he? I thought he was a banker.
He's good at everything. He's the best.
That is. The best.
You know what? Never mind. My number 3 is Airheads. So Brendan Fraser and Steve Buscemi and fucking Adam Sandler.
Wow.
I fucking love that movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, the Lone fucking Rangers. The Lone Rangers. Yeah, I love that movie.
Are you sure it can be plural? Can you pluralize the Lone Ranger?
It's 3 of you. You're not exactly lone, are you?
Nick, so you got yours?
Oh yeah, Dreamgirls, Whiplash, and La La Land. Not in that particular order, but yeah, that's what I'm taking.
And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Emily.
Yes.
We love you.
I love you guys too.
Thank you so much for coming back and being on the show. And it's always such a treat when you're here.
Oh, I love being here.
Fan celebrations. We're never allowed to have a fan celebration if you're not on to host it. So even when we're in like episode 4,000 of the Epic Film Guys and you're hosting, these massive podcasting conferences with millions of attendees in like large stadiums and shit, like you still have to come back and do our fan celebrations for us and our 7 listeners. You have to do it.
That requires
our 7 listeners.
Our 7 listeners.
Okay.
No,
our lucky 7 listeners.
Oh. No, you guys
just give us a discount on your, your appearance fee. Just maybe not like $500,000, maybe like $250,000 or something. Give us a
I'll tell you what, if you guys bring me Taco Bell, I will do whatever you want. Pretty much. My husband just brought
Taco Bell. Where are you? Berlin. Fuck.
El Taco Bell.
But Emily, why don't you take a moment? Because not only do you have the story behind, which is finally back. Thank you. There's a God, because it's finally back. But not only the story behind, but tell our listeners also a little bit about E-Podcast Productions as well. Where can we find you? Where can we hear more about all the amazing projects that you're involved in?
Yeah, my podcast is The Story Behind. You can find that at thestorybehindpodcast.com. I'm doing podcast editing and show notes and consulting. You can find that at ePodcast Productions. And I am still running Podcast Share. Well, I'm not running it. I'm sort of just managing it, which is a Twitter account where a different person takes over every week and they live tweet about what they're listening to. And it's one of my favorite projects. And it's so sad that I get to do it once a week, and it's really just to turn it over to somebody else and just watch them run. And I watch them run with it, and it's so cool. And I love the community over there. I wish I had more time to really promote it and get into it more. But I love Podcast Share. If you're not already following at Podcast Share on Twitter, definitely follow it. Nick was a curator one week. It was so much fun. Yeah,
it is. It's a lot of fun, especially because you seem to vary it really well too. You don't take just like similar podcasts every single week. You take a completely different type of podcast from a completely different part of the world or the country or whatever from week to week. So it's always a really, really kind of eclectic experience. You get a whole variety of what everybody's tastes are. Like I hear all these different people talk about all these different shows that I've never heard of, which is great.
I know. I love that because it's very easy when you're a podcaster to get caught up in the few friends that you make and get in that one bubble of maybe one podcast group that you love on Facebook or one hashtag on Twitter that you love. But the people that have come and been nominated to be a Podcast Share curator, they've come from so many different places because you're nominated. You're not signed up for it. You don't sign yourself up for it. You're nominated by somebody else. So it's just amazing to hear all these little pockets and niches from different podcast groups.
It's awesome. It's really, really fun. So yeah, please check that out, and please check out The Story Behind. If you don't already listen to it, you have to, because it's such an amazing show. She gets you in, she gets you out. It's 10 hot minutes of Emily talking about everything amazing. It's so amazing, in fact, that she's going to write a book about it, because I mean, that's just how good she is at this, that people just throw money at her and are like, do more here.
I know, and I feel bad because I'm not putting out an episode tomorrow. It'll probably be on Thursday that I'm putting out an episode. But
wah, wah.
I know it'll be here. Well, I had to
host fucking fan celebration.
I had to host your fan celebration. It was totally worth it though. But The Story Behind on Thursday, actually the same day this comes out, will be about the story behind Marmite, which is a UK suggestion because I do so many Americanized episodes.
That's nice. That's cool.
Marmite, yeah, which also talks about Vegemite. So I'm really interested. I'm hoping I can find a jar of it before then, but I haven't had any luck. I have to. Yeah.
Lame.
I know.
Hey, get these UK listeners on the ball, man. Get some Marmite in a box and get it over here.
I didn't want to ask because I feel like they would send it, and I would feel so bad because
you'd have like 10 jars of it or something.
Well, because shipping is so expensive. I always feel bad when Heather Welch from Sunshine and Power Cut sends me things because it's amazing and she spends a lot of money to do that. So, and we love Heather. So hi.
God, I love her to death. I love her to death. But yet, you're amazing, and you're always welcome on this show, literally anytime. Even more so than me or Justin, probably sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I quit, after Nick declines to see Black Panther, you'll be the co-host. So get used to watching movies, because that'll be your job.
You're gonna have another.
You're first in line
from the other.
First in line.
I'm good.
Be the epic film guy and chick that doesn't watch as many movies as
exactly.
Yeah.
We so I podcast with a movie geek.
Or we could I could just totally ditch Nick and we'll just do the We Love Everything 80s podcast, and it'll just be that, and I'll just say,
oh yeah, I'm planning.
Off, Justin.
I am planning the story behind 80s edition. So there's going to be 10 episodes, one for each year of the 80s. Of the things that were invented that year. So I'm going to tap you guys. Yeah, I'm going to tap you guys to do the opening monologue for those.
Oh,
for one or two of them. Yeah, so just look for that.
And there's the sound of Justin ejaculating in the background because we're talking about the 80s.
Hey, man, I've always said this, and I'll continue to say it. If I could go back and relive my 20s in the 80s, I would do. If I could go back and relive my 30s in the 80s, and if I lived in my 40s, I'll go back and I'll relive my 40s in the 80s. it's whatever.
Yeah.
My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
Oh my God. But ladies and gentlemen, as if you don't already know, if you've made it this far into the episode, God bless you, first of all. We love you. You can find us all over the web. Literally every podcatcher of your choice. Just go out there and search for us, Epic Film Guys, and you will find us. Justin, what are you talking about on the show next week?
What? What, Lorraine? What? What are we talking about on the show next week?
Bird watching?
What are we talking about on the show next week? Black fucking Panther. That's what we're talking about on the show next week. That's what we're talking about on the show next week.
As long as I'm talk about Black Panther one more time.
As long as I'm still alive, that is. I mean, who knows what could happen between now and then? I really don't know. But
well, you're going to meet him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm very excited about that. We have a great month, actually, because we have Black Panther. We have Alex Garland's Annihilation hitting theaters this month. So yes, I'm very excited about this month. I promise if I quit, I won't quit until next month. Until at least I see these movies. So.
All right, well, yes, thank you all very, very much for listening. Again, big shout out, big props to the gents over at Master Debaters for filling in for us on the show last week. We're going to be doing a takeover of their show at some point in the future, whenever they need us. I left it open for them. I said, whenever you need us, just let us know, a few weeks in advance, and we'll make it happen. So that'll be coming at some point. It'll be really interesting for Justin and I to just do a comedy podcast and not talk about movies. So I don't know how the fuck that's going to work.
Write the script, motherfucker.
We should do
write that shit.
We should do a thing like they do. Like they go to Comic-Cons and they just randomly walk up to people and ask them really stupid questions and shit. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I know. I love that they do that.
Their videos get smashed with tons of hits. Like a lot of people watch those videos too. So hats off to them. They're an amazing show. Go check them out if you didn't check them out after listening to last week's show. We love them. They're absolutely amazing. Great guys for doing it. Thank you, Emily, for being here. You are literally a treasure, and we love you in every single way. You're amazing. Thank you all very, very, very much for listening. And Justin,
we will see you at the movies.
podcast from the Podfix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.